Last time, on whatever this series is called.
Airi seems to be off somewhere else, and if they really are in trouble, then that level up was a huge mistake. But oh my, look at that. 3 sizable waves hitting the choke at the same time, and Skroik's red plume is still on cooldown. Oh, there she breaks down. Airi leaving the game for good. At this point, the outcome seems inevitable.
And I think it is. Skroik and Airi suddenly get hit in the face by a 3-pronged attack.
Entering a new level.
What the hell? Did Gogi just die?
The team seems as confused as we are, and that was the last heal. Now it's all or nothing, but it's looking grim. And yes, Elise goes down first, and Troy falls as well. It is game over for Team Gogi and Troy, and it might have gone a different way if those heals would have been spent on Gogi back in the turret room. But I think we can safely assume that nobody saw that coming. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. After 2 exciting floors, there's only 5 teams left, ready to fight their way through floor 3 of the Dungeon of the Endless.
While it is a little early to take a closer look at the remaining team's equipment, we can see clear trends in the research department as well as in early game build orders.
Indeed. The early game is almost over though, and we will most likely see some new enemy types as well. So without any further ado, let's check it out.
Wait, are we not doing the My Name is Matt Gambler thing anymore?
You really should know by now, so no.
Alright, just asking. Ken and Yulari start off the 3rd floor, and it should be noted what an incredibly solid playstyle they demonstrated until now. Here we see them encounter the first new enemy typically introduced in floor 3, the Abomination, which appears to be some kind of failed experiment and might look quite intimidating at first, but in fact those are just advanced trash mobs and obviously no problem for now.
Rakia and Elise in the meantime really fire up the food production now. Double food opening with Rakia happily hacking away on that module.
Well, tough luck.
That's the dungeon doing its thing for you. The steel reduces all food production floor-wide to 0 and will keep doing that for 3 more turns, basically rendering useless what looked like a solid opening a moment ago.
Quite a throwback, but events like this are something our adventurers have to deal with, no need for pity. On the bright side, there are positive steals as well, you just have to be a little lucky. Like Josh, Mormish and Nanra here, whose DPS is increased by 80% at the moment. They also might move 30% slower, but I'd still say that's quite a favorable exchange at almost any point of the game.
I can certainly agree on that, but as we speak another steal is discovered, and this one can be quite tricky to deal with. Every enemy, no matter how tough, will ignore our heroes for the next few turns, and while that can be a good thing, it also means that every enemy will head directly for the energy core. And while that doesn't put Aseptarish and Opbot in a potentially lethal situation right now, they could have a hard time defending their dust reserves, which in turn increases the difficulty of the whole floor in the long run. So while I would say that this effect can be beneficial, it strongly depends on when and where it jumps into action.
As we can see right here, Matt, you called the devil and this leaper heads straight for the core, and they will have a hard time to stop it before it gets there, I think.
Oh, very true, it gets taken out, but not before reducing the team's dust by 1.68, effectively throwing the team back to 3 pod rooms for the time being.
And that was a single hit. It's really the little things that can mean the most.
That's also what she said, isn't it?
No, you didn't. I mean, come on, let's go back to the video.
In the meantime, the slowest door opener of Auriga opens a door. And Gork and Mitzi really go strong for now. Rakia backing them up definitely makes a fine addition to the team, bringing in a tremendous amount of extra resources, and they also encountered Kensha here, which wouldn't make such a bad 4th team member either.
Right, and they still lack mobility. Rakia does not want to move so she can continuously operate, Mitzi rather slow herself, and Gork obviously still being Gork, so that extra bit of mobility would definitely help out. But for now they can handle everything, and that growling noise we just heard, some of you might have even seen it, was a so-called stun snake, another new and quite dangerous enemy type.
Is that actually what they are called, stun snakes?
Yep, it's also somehow related to the other failed experiment Chimera, like the Abomination and a few others, and it's not only a capable fighter but also slows down all heroes in the same room, so our teams should be careful when handling those.
Exactly. Now I have to say I'm a little worried about Josh and Nana. as their whole team's DPS is definitely below average. Morm is not the perfect addition to an already support-heavy team, but as we can see, at least they continuously seem to have Lady Luck on their side. Fanart finding himself quite a powerful weapon here, increasing his overall DPS from 39 to 58.
Yeah, finding a suitable weapon for your characters might be a little luck dependent, but can seriously change the situation into their favor once they manage to properly arm themselves. I still have to agree with you though, while Nanor is rather tanky, they will have to rely a lot on minor modules for DPS if they don't meet a real shredder soon, like Gork or Ken maybe.
Matt, we know you are in love with Gork sunglasses, but speaking of, Gork and Mitzi have invited Inkensha into the party by now and have a lot of unpowered rooms.
That is of course something to keep in mind, and right now 3 additional waves are coming in. Wow, Rakia almost caught off guard there, the pause hits just in time and they don't have that many heals available. And Gork will take ages to get down there.
She needs to get out of that room.
Yeah, they need to fall back and maybe even throw down more turrets.
Throwing down turrets that late really is a desperate move to make, but I'm not convinced they can do without. And the team obviously hesitates to unpause the game, so he might be right there.
Now is the time to make a decision and to make one that counts. But there it goes, and Rakia quickly dropping in health. There isn't a lot of food left.
Rakia can be healed one more time, but the mobs are closing in from all sides now, and again the pause goes down. And Gork and Mitzi really need to make something work here now, before all those solid preparations go to hell.
Inkensha went in there just for a second but turned around straight away. Finally the turrets go down, but I see a lot of enemies. Rakia almost out of the fight already. Gork is still busy taking out the wave in the right wing, and the real problem here is that they are basically out of heals already.
And out of space to place minor modules, and the longer the pause is up, the clearer the team can see in what kind of a situation they suddenly are.
But they are also running out of options. The only remaining question here is where to put up a last stand position.
Or is it? The pause only postpones the inevitable, and Matt, I gotta say I don't see Rakia leaving that room alive anymore.
Oh, or Inkensha for that matter. The turrets fire away, but for every nibbler they take out, 2 more seem to take its place. Inkensha is down, Mitzi down as well, and with a sour taste in her mouth, Rakia decides to stay where she is. Gork has no idea what to do.
But I think, yes, he could heal one more time. His silent green ability just produced 1 more unit of food, but he seems to not realize it.
Well, even so. Gork, Butcher, Karosa in all his glory breaks to his manly knees, and even if he had 1 more heal to turn that particular fight around, there is next to no way he could have recovered from that all on his own. But we can at least wear our sunglasses tonight to honor that beautiful man and his unquestionable coolness.
It's really outright ridiculous what a fanboy you are, Matt. In fact, he was a violent criminal with the same weight as my dog, and in my opinion there are many characters in the game who are a lot cooler than him.
Alright. Back in-game, the final door opens for Eularia and Ken, who actually can call themselves one of the 4 best teams in this tournament by now.
That is correct, but there are a lot of stun snakes and Silic supporters piling up at this very moment, and suddenly Troy has to deal with an awful lot of mobs at the same time, turns around to run away while Ken and Eularia storm in to help him out. And with that amount of mobs, it is way too late for more turrets. They will need to make use of their heals while the turrets fire away, but is it enough to clean that up?
Another heal goes down, but with all those stacked up mobs, it is so hard to tell how many there are. Last heal. Eularia will have to pull out as well now, and that leaves Ken Masoki firing away, and he is known for his outstanding DPS, but his health, wow, I don't know.
I'm not sure if he can make it. And there, he also falls back, but if those mobs can make it through that room, there is not much to stop them anymore.
Sweet Jesus. It is finally time to take a deep breath, and what an outstanding performance that was. The way is clear, all doors are open, and while we still catch our breath, the teams already prepare for the inevitable run that still lies ahead.
Indeed. The longer I think about it, the clearer I see that even if those mobs would have made their way through the last room, Ken and Eularia could have still fallen back a little further to buy some time to place another turret in the room before the core maybe. So after all, maybe they knew they could take a stand right there.
Maybe. As for now, the remaining 4 teams have prepared and powered the rooms best suited to clear the way through the exit, and starting off are Obbot and Aseptarosh.
Picking up Max O'Kane on the way, there really wasn't much to stop them, as they even spent a ridiculous amount of dust at the merchant to step up their game equipment-wise. Max opens the last door, Dina grabs the crystal, and the team is up and away before all those meanies even realize it's their turn again.
Ha! Ladies and gentlemen, Gork Butcher Karosa has re-entered the building, deciding to help out Rakia and Elise. And with a fully powered way to the exit, there is not much to say except that the 3 ladies probably love his shades.
Yeah, whatever. Oh come on, he is such a poser.
Now the remaining two teams shouldn't have it as easy, as they still haven't encountered another hero and therefore are still stuck with only 3 members each. But Josh and Nanor get lucky a 3rd time in succession with a very short and fully powered way to the elevator.
Euleri and Ken, on the other hand, were the only ones who already encountered the first mob associated to the Hernas. The Hernas are a faction native to Auriga that also makes an appearance in Endless Legend, and the mob in question is simply called the Big Bastard.
If you're wondering what he does, it is quite easy to explain really. He walks up to you and hits you in the face.
And while Ken Masoki might actually enjoy that, a single one of those green-skinned bad boys can be taken out rather quickly. But once they hit hard. In this run, good teamwork and a few turrets made sure everything went smoothly.
Well. After only 3 floors, more than 50% of our teams are dead and gone, and roughly about now is the time the really exciting phase of this tournament starts.
While that is true, I cannot help but be a bit disappointed that it only took so little to get rid of the majority of the teams. I mean, there are 12 floors in total after all.
True. But keep in mind that this is not only an amateur tournament, but also one on the easy difficulty. And for all those newcomers to the game, there are in fact only 2 levels of difficulty. Easy and too easy.
Still, I really hope the remaining teams can make it a bit further than that.
They will. You have to believe in them.
Fair enough. Now taking a look at our team's economy, build orders naturally tend to deviate according to opportunity at this point, but there are 2 interesting aspects to point out here. Oppot and SF Towers are not only sitting on almost 200 research points and will be ready to make a huge tech jump on the next floor, but they also stacked up on food, even though they would have been able to level up Oppot or Max Arcane already.
Right, so that's the reason Oppot and SF Towers seem like they're a little behind research-wise at the moment, but there simply was no way for them to spend all their points on this floor. And all those minor module technologies will only start to really kick in the later levels, so for now, everybody focuses on economy upgrades.
And that being said, we send a huge thank you towards Amplitude Studios, as they generously provided us with a key to our very own Endless Legend Founder Pack, which is awesome.
And also an even bigger thank you to you guys simply for watching, which makes this whole thing so much fun. And we are really looking forward to doing the next episode. And the next episode, and maybe even the next episode, depending on how far our heroes can actually make it. For now, GLHF, and hope to see you soon. Matt Gambler
And Matt Gambler.
And Matt Gambler, whatever.
signing out. And I'm not gonna lie, my cough had become worse. And after almost a week we got raided again and Pablo got wounded quite badly. And we had no bandages, no painkillers. All we could do was splash some fucking moonshine on the wound 3 times a day, while Matei fed all our meds into that bottomless pit of a disease that was his father. So see you later, Mrs. Spider. As she's gone, of course, panic mode sets in and spastically shaking left and right helps us to break free and get away.